everyone, it's Adele and April from Just Say Scrap, and we are here with Throw It Together Thursday. So today we have 5 techniques for you, so make sure you watch our video because we're going to name them there. But we have a really fun card coming at you, so here we go. All right, so Throw It Together Thursday. We have our 5 techniques that we have to do. So we've got our black core cardstock. We have our pull tab thin cuts, inking under, the card front, our craft paper, and our blending brushes. So we have a few things that we kind of have worked with already. This is our black core cardstock. I actually went into our Bloom with Grace Cricut, and I took a background piece that was supposed to be in sangria, but I made it black, and then I just cut it on the black core cardstock. So do you see how nice the black core cuts on the Cricut? I did it on the more pressure setting on the Cricut. It did rip slightly on some parts, so you might want to do it even thicker cut or change the kind of cardstock. I did it on medium cardstock. I probably could have done it on a thicker cardstock, but it cut out really nicely. I just had to push them through a little bit more. So we're going to take this card, which has our Celebrating You paper that we used last time, and we're just going to glue this right down onto this. So then I actually took the craft paper that we did the other day with our texture paste and our solar flare. So we used our solar flare and our texture paste mixture for this, and we kind of ombrated it a little bit. So I'm just going to take that next, and we're going to put some glue on that. And that's going to make the black a little less harsh. Really want to get that down there. And next we have our pull tab. So I took the base page that we had from when you saw the pull tab video. I made this already, and then we got to just add this part onto it. So we're going to fold these. I'm going to use a micro glue dot. So this is a brand new micro glue dot pack that I just opened. Like that. I'm gonna slide that onto here. Remember, we have to glue it up there, so I'm going to use 2 more dots. 1 and then 2, just to make sure that this is really strong. I'm gonna slide that to the middle and adhere that down. So that slide works perfectly. Then this is going to get adhered down to the page, but remember we want to use foam tape. So we are going to use our thin foam tape. So just a fun fact, I actually like to use all of my foam tape. So I usually kind of like get it off of the bottom piece so I can use it, and then I just add some glue to it so it saves you a little bit more. And we're going to center that right on the card here, just like that. So when that is adhered down, it moves up and down, and we are able to take our scissor now and cut right there. Okay, perfect. Then this gets added onto that, and I'm going to use an ultra thin dot for this one. Right onto that circle there. And that's gonna go right on the bottom of our present here. So that way, that moves up and down. Just gotta hold this a little longer so it adheres because I had to glue it. And what I did here actually with the present is I messed up a little bit on the ribbons. So I wanted to show another way to use our craft paper. So I kind of took the craft here and I just put that down. So we did that. And actually I forgot before we build all this, I wanted to do the blending brushes and our inking under the card front, which I totally forgot to do. I'm supposed to do it under here. So we're gonna go back and do that actually right now before we put the rest of this card on. So I have my blending brushes here, and I'm going to use the yellow. So I've got my honey butter here, And I'm going to just take my bristles, remember, and rub it into the color. And I know that this is supposed to be done prior to putting this down, but I'm just gonna take my bristle brushes and rub a little along the edge here in certain spots. I'm not gonna get the whole thing. Do you see how it kind of just changes the look just a little bit? What's nice about the brushes is they do get into all of those spots. So we're just kind of adding a little bit of like an ombre effect on the outside. And I'm also going to take this and just ombre the edge of the card as well. Like that. So we gave a little extra color to the card. I love, love, love the honey butter. So I'm going to go wash this off. So just note when you wash it, sometimes it looks like the bristles like are separated like that, but that's just because it's wet. It will dry. See, it's like super, super wet. So it will dry and the bristles will go back to normal. If you want, you can also take like a paper towel and kind of wipe the brushes out on that, and it dries them a little quicker, and see how they're closer together. So I promise you that will dry. Just gonna throw that right back in here. And then we've got our card. And then we have to add some foam tape to this. So remember, we have to use the thinner one. And remember, we want to make sure that this little top corner is up towards the present, because that way the ribbon will line up. So with this, we need to take our thin piece and we have to go right along the edges. And we have to make sure that we go top to bottom. Otherwise, the piece that's sliding will get caught, and we don't want that to happen. So that's going to go down just like that. So I'm not putting it on the bottom of this because do you see how it's basically the same size as the whole entire slide part? So we're making sure that the slide is all the way down and then going around the present. And that way when we put this down, we don't catch the present. And it slides up and down. Perfect. So it's getting a little caught, and that's because I went a little too high with this. So I'm going to get that back in there. Also, actually, it was that got caught. So if for some reason you realize that it comes up too high, I found another little trick that's very easy to do. So what you want to do is you want to just take a scrap piece of white daisy and cut off about a half an inch like that. I'm going to trim that down a little bit, but once you take that, you want to make sure that this is not too long. Make it a little smaller, I think. So pull it out. Yeah, so see, it has to be smaller than that. So I'm going to make it like that size. And then I'm going to take some glue. Actually, I'm going to take 2 micro dots. One on either side. 1, 2. And we're going to pull this up to where we want it to stop. So I want it to stop about there. So what I'm going to go is I'm going to go under here and see where the pull, you can see like the tiny little pull thing. I'm going to, whoops, put the glue dots down, but we are on our all-purpose mat, so it will come right up. So I'm going to put that piece of paper right over it. So this is in case you make them too long. And ready? Goes down and it stops right at that paper. I can't pull it anymore. So that's your fun fixing trick that we've got. So you have that there. And then just to finish this card up, we're going to add this happy birthday, you deserve it all. I'm going to switch out my scissor. So we're going to dovetail this. I'm going to take our aqua blue on the lightest one. Just give a little extra pizzazz in there. And then this is going to be glued right down there. And as you see, I also had stamped the other side because I didn't like the one side as much. So I'm just going to throw that right over there. And then we've got our 3 dots here. These fun stars are just going to be added to the card. Remember, we don't want to add them someplace that the slide will hit because otherwise they will get in the way. So we're going to just kind of go off to the edge over here. Just like that. And then we have our card with, I believe, every single one of our elements. So we've got the black core. We've got the pull tab. We have the inking underneath the card front, which I had to do at the afterwards because I forgot. Oops. We've got our craft paper here and here. And we also have our blending brush, which we used for the inking. So as you can see, everything looks really good in this. And that is our Throw It Together Thursday. Oh, and before I actually pull this away, I wanted to show you what the card is supposed to look like too. So this was the original design that we had. And you can see with just a little bit of techniques, you can really just change it up. And that's Throw It Together Thursday. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below. So I was very leery about the card when we first started it, but I think it actually looks really good. Yes. So it's so fun how you can just take a kit that we had already done and completely change it up, and it looks great. So yeah. Remember, our next virtual weekend is September 30th to October 2nd. And we also have our live in-person weekend from the 14th to the 16th of October. So we hope to see you there. All right. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye. Bye. To the 16th, right? 14th to the 16th. Weekend from the 14th to the 16th. Old car. And we also have our in-person weekend, October 16th. Dang it! I had it.